Hi, welcome to our section on humanistic psychology. The humanistic approach was psychology's third wave. It was primarily a reaction to the very deterministic and somewhat pessimistic theories of psychoanalysis and behaviorism. While psychoanalytic theory argued that we are at the mercy of unconscious drives and desires, and behaviorists maintain that all behavior is shaped by environment and learning histories, psychology had, in effect, lost consciousness. The humanistic approach revived ideas of free will, conscious experience, and personal agency. They argued that we consciously guide and direct behavior and are responsible for the choices that shape our lives. Further, they put forth the sort of revolutionary idea that people are basically good, and our ultimate goal is to realize our full potential and learn to accept our true self. Two of the theorists discussed in this section are Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. Each proposed theories to explain human growth and personal development, the path to fulfillment, and the obstacles that stand in our way. According to Rogers, the path of personal growth ends with the fully functioning person. Unlike Adler, who argued that we strive for achievement, to Rogers, career success, wealth, and awards are not the ultimate goal. Instead, we should live in the moment, seek personal satisfaction, and accept ourselves for who we are. A fully functioning person is not necessarily someone who is happy all the time, but someone who lives a full life on their own terms. Rogers believed that we all have the capacity to reach our full potential given a supportive environment. He defined a supportive environment as one in which we experience unconditional positive regard. This means that someone in your life, a parent, relative, friend, or even a therapist, loves you and accepts you for you, no matter what. Now, this person may disapprove of your behavior at times, but they don't reject you as a person. This is opposed to conditions of worth, love and approval that are only gained by meeting some external standard set by someone else. Individuals who only experience conditions of worth may develop anxiety or psychological defenses that deny and distort reality in an attempt to protect one's fragile self-concept. But with unconditional positive regard, an individual can learn to accept the self, even their flaws. Maslow also championed personal growth, but he believed that self-actualization was the ultimate goal. A self-actualized person is someone who is creative, knows what they want in life, pursues their passion, and is in touch with their true nature. Maslow argued that before we can achieve self-actualization, we must address lower-level needs, such as basic physiological needs like food, water, and safety needs. Next in the hierarchy come belongingness, love needs, and esteem or achievement needs. However, each of the lower-level needs does not need to be 100% met before traveling up the hierarchy. An individual could partially satisfy lower-level needs and still be motivated by esteem or self-actualization. Further, any individual action could be motivated by a variety of needs. Think about a musician. They may play to connect others, to be popular and loved, to feel competent and respected, and in the pursuit of their pure passion for music. People may also satisfy these needs in their own unique way. Success and even love may mean different things to different people. For some, it may mean climbing the corporate ladder and having a traditional family. For others, it may mean exploring the world with their best friend. Despite the need for belongingness, Maslow observed that self-actualized people have few friends and find value in solitude. However, it should be noted that Maslow relied primarily on subjective evaluation of typically historical figures to form his theory of self-actualization, rather than relying on more objective empirical data. But research suggests that there are individual differences in preference for solitude, and some may find solitude more enjoyable than others. And what's noteworthy here is that it's not as though people with a high preference for solitude reject other people or don't find value in socializing with others. So we see that both groups here rate time with others as pleasant. What differs is their attitude towards those times of solitude, with those with a high preference for solitude having a much more positive opinion of those alone times than those with a low preference for solitude. And my guess is that you likely have someone in your life who differs from you in this preference. So for me, it's my best friend, and we're very different in this respect. She does not like to be alone, ever, and does not find those times enjoyable or pleasant in any way. My thought is that she grew up with a lot of sisters and a big family, and so maybe based on her past experiences, she didn't spend a lot of time alone growing up, whereas I have a much smaller family and have a lot more experience with times of solitude. And so now as adults, we have very different attitudes towards solitude. But when people fail to satisfy their need for belongingness or love, they subjectively feel that their social support system is not what they would desire. And this may be a subjective experience. It may or may not match the objective reality of their social circle. These individuals, so who have this subjective experience, may have feelings of loneliness. Your book discusses the individual differences that predict chronic loneliness, but it's important to note that there are many situational factors that could contribute to bouts of loneliness. The pandemic is obviously one, but loneliness is also a common problem on college campuses. Major life transitions, starting a new career, pursuing academics at a new university, moving to a new city. All of these are situational factors that could produce at least, maybe temporary feelings of social isolation or loneliness. And this is a big concern if we focus exclusively on the personality or individual differences that are predictors. And so I think, at times we can get maybe a little too wrapped up in the personality side of things. We need to recognize these situational factors that could lead some to experience this feeling of loneliness. So I know that when I first went to college, I went to UNT in Denton, and I was surrounded by thousands of other students, and I had never felt so alone in my entire life. It was a really tough transition for me, and I really struggled with my feelings of social isolation and loneliness for a lot longer than I should have, because I had this mindset that, well, it must be something about my personality, right? There must be some reason why I feel so lonely. That's somehow my fault. And I think that made me too embarrassed to seek out support that was available to me. And I just didn't take advantage of it. So, if you are feeling socially isolated or lonely, especially during this pandemic or with your transition to the university, there's lots of resources, groups, organizations that are specifically dedicated to providing a sense of support, to providing a community to get you involved in the university and make you feel like part of the university and very connected. And so don't hesitate to reach out to those groups and to take advantage of those opportunities. All right, thank you guys so much. Read more in these 2 chapters about the theories of Maslow and Rogers and some of the research to support some of these theories. Thanks, guys. Bye.